Olito Chamo Wengapa and Tuck Himak Pisama Shapisa La Shike. So I was just looking at a video with Dr. Umar Johnson, and there was a lady on there saying there needs to be a way for women to work if they want to work. I disagree with this like wholeheartedly. I feel like if you want to work, like go ahead, work. Like who cares? Like I think women in America, they don't understand the idea of farming, owning land, wasting time. Like as far as all of that goes, I don't think they understand the difference where their bothers at. Like you see here, Zimbabwe is going to compensate. Well, they're already doing it. They're compensating local farmers over land invasions. This is something that should have been done with our people here in America. It should have been done. Like my mind is stuck in Africa right now. Like I'm only thinking about Africa because like I just been thinking like, why am I so invested in America? Like when there's nothing in America for me. Like you listen to how people talk about America is the land of the free. It's the land of milk and honey. Like it's really not. You know what I mean? Like it's really not. I think like the societal norms that we see in America, like it sours your experience when you're talking about living in America. It sours your experience. I was looking at a video of a lady and she was choosing which man she was going to remove from the dating. Cause she was like trying to pick one out of the many, or like which man that she wanted to date. And she was sitting up there just picking each one of them. And then she said, well, I'm going to leave this one out because he has strong African features. And this lady, again, she's Kenyan and Ghanaian. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, well, what exactly do you want? And she was saying the entire time, like, she want a man that's more Americanized. And I'm just thinking, like, oh, she wants a man who has a lot of white blood and, like, who has, like, white features and stuff like that. So, like, you see even with that whole thing, like, them wanting to work jobs, them choosing to date men who look more Americanized, like, that whole idea, like it's begotten. Like it's to me, like it's a terrible idea when you're talking about investing in America in the long term, because that type of ideal, like it's permeated through the fabric of America. Like when you look around and you see Americans, you don't see people who look like you're a past American, like the American from the first like your first Americans, like you know what I'm saying, like your strong African looking Americans. You know what I mean? So you don't see that anymore. To me, like it's just one of those things, man, where you just have to just wonder, like, what are people long term investments here in America? Like, what are their long term investments? Like, it's cool, like you can be here in America and you can invest in other places. Like that's what I'm doing. Like I invest in other places while I'm here in America. But it's like it's one of those things where it's just like, what do you choose to be like going forward? You know, so this article again, like you can find it on the net. Like it's an interesting read. And like they had to throw that in there, like foreign farmers. So again, like, you know, it's to me, it's just one of those things like, why do you want to work when you have an entire land that you have to cultivate to get resources from? Like, why do you want to work when there was never, like, we were never like 9-to-5 workers? Like, we were never chattel property. You know what I mean? Like, chattel property means someone who's working a job. Like, we were never chattel. So, like, why are you pushing paper and stuff like that? So, I don't know, man. Like everybody's different in that respect. I don't know what people really want when they start to really think about and like gather a sense. But like clearly, you gotta be thinking ahead of the pack, man. And to me, like, if we're going to be honest about this, Africa is the best investment that we have. You know what I mean? Like, it's the best investment that we have because not only is the people there like feet on the ground, but they're skilled workers. They're skilled farmers. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know, man. And another thing I want to talk about was like, there's this thing going around where people are saying like, Africans weren't here because they didn't know how to farm cotton and stuff like that, because cotton was only indigenous to like South North America. And we talk about Mississippi and stuff like that. Look, here's the thing, like, we're so advanced as a society. Like, even back then we were advanced. Anything could have been in a time where like we could have knew what we were doing. It don't matter if you were from here or if you weren't from here. Cause like they put it in the movies where it's like we look at Roots and stuff like that, and the guy was like, my name is not no Kunta Kinte or something like that to that effect. Like, people been knowing who they really were. And you can tell from like even back then. Cause like you can look at some of the records where it talks about runaway slaves and they have this Arabic type name and stuff like that. Like, people been moving around learning information and like forming different ethnogenesis like since they've been here. But I don't know, man. Like, to each his own. I think like people should like not be so torrent towards Africans, because they look different and everything. Like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, if you peel back your DNA, you probably got some African in you. So it's like, I don't know what people are trying to get to when they look at like when they try to like bring down Africans. Cause it's like, once you finish high school and you figure out like, what do I want to do with my life? You know what I mean? Like, what do I want to be? Then you have to wonder like, okay, am I going to spend the rest of my life with this person who I just met? Like, you got to really do some digging. Like, you got to find out your inner self, like who you are. Are you more disciplined to be with a person than not? Hey, I mean, people got to figure this stuff out, man. Cause like, generations are going by and like, we don't look as smart as our ancestors did. Our ancestors, they figured it out, man. And they got to work. Like, we're not getting to work really. Like, we wake up every day checking our emails, seeing if a job sent us a listing. That's not a good way to live. I remember I used to do that when I was a teenager. I used to always look at my email and see if an employer contacted me back. And then when I found out, like, man, I could just go to Minnesota. Like, and I went to Minnesota, found out, the sun was brighter there, so like, you really didn't, like, if you didn't want to work a job, you could have found a different hustle. You couldn't got into real estate or something. But yeah, I don't know what people be thinking, man. It's good that Zimbabwe is compensating its local farmers. But more has to be done. More has to be done. These people, they need a break from working in these fields, man. They need a break. Like, you working your whole life trying to grow crop, and someone just comes through and just, make all your crop go bad. Like, that's not good, man. Like, you see this picture right here, like, that took a lot of dedication and work to get them fields like that. So, what's your opinion on the Zimbabwe land invasion and them compensating the local farmers and foreign farmers? And what is your opinion on women still in America wanting to work jobs and women choosing men who have white features instead of like African features? Like, what is your opinion on all of that? Because I like to hear it. And again, we give out good information on this side of the YouTube sector. We give out good information. So you all stay blessed, stay up, stay ingratiated. And I'm going to look at some more basketball. Basketball season just kicked off. And you all stay blessed, man. Take care. Yakoki.